You guys seem really into street fighting, which is why I'm getting a lot of questions in the comments after posting that Muay Thai video. So I was thinking, why not compare different martial arts to find out which one is most effective for self-defense? In this video, we'll explore these various martial arts and discuss their effectiveness in a street fight. So let's not waste any time and get right into it. Osamu Noguchi, in the 1960s, he created kickboxing by mixing two martial arts. Kickboxing, blending Muay Thai, karate, and Western boxing, packs quite a punch in street fights. It's all about powerful strikes. Think of those fierce punches, high-impact kicks, and deadly knee and elbow blows. By landing a swift roundhouse kick to someone's side or delivering a straight punch to the jaw, these moves can quickly take someone down in a street brawl. Plus, kickboxing's emphasis on agile footwork and keeping your balance helps you dodge and weave, staying mobile and making it tough for opponents to corner you. This ability to stay light on your feet and control the distance can be a game changer in chaotic street scenarios where you need to move fast to avoid trouble. But here's where things get tricky. Kickboxing shines when you're upright and throwing punches or kicks. But if the fight goes to the ground, it can be a whole different story. In a street fight, things often get messy, and someone might try to tackle you or drag you down. This is where kickboxers can hit a snag, since their training is mostly about standing strikes and doesn't cover much ground fighting or grappling. For instance, if a kickboxer is taken down by someone who knows their way around wrestling or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all those striking skills can become pretty useless. They could end up in a tight spot, unable to fend off ground-based attacks or escape from a grapple. Another thing to keep in mind is that kickboxing is usually practiced in a controlled, rule-based environment. A boxing ring with a referee, for instance. But street fights, they don't play by the rules. You might have to deal with multiple attackers, unexpected weapons, or fighting on uneven ground. These are the kind of wild cards that standard kickboxing training doesn't prepare you for. So, while kickboxing gives you a strong toolkit of strikes and movement skills, you really need to mix it up with some grappling techniques and street-smart self-defense tactics to be fully ready for the street fight. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, has a fascinating origin story. It all started in the early 20th century with Japanese judo master Mitsuyo Maeda. He traveled to Brazil and taught his grappling techniques to the Gracie family. The Gracies took these moves and ran with them, tweaking and perfecting them over time. They created what we now know as BJJ, a martial art focused on ground fighting and submission holds. BJJ is like the secret weapon in street fights. Its biggest advantage is that it teaches you how to handle yourself on the ground, which is where a lot of street brawls end up. With BJJ, you learn to control, escape, and submit opponents, no matter their size. So, if you find yourself tackled to the ground, knowing BJJ can help you turn the tables quickly. Plus, it's all about using leverage and technique, so you don't need to be super strong to be effective. Being able to outmaneuver a much bigger opponent just by knowing the right moves. That's the magic of BJJ. But, like anything, BJJ has its downsides in a street fight. It focuses mainly on grappling and ground control, which is awesome, unless you're up against multiple attackers or someone with a weapon. In those cases, you might want to stay on your feet and be ready to run. Also, BJJ doesn't really teach you how to defend against punches or strikes while you're on the ground. If an attacker starts throwing punches, you might be in a tough spot, unless you combine your BJJ skills with some striking or stand-up defense training. So while BJJ is fantastic for one-on-one situations and gives you a real edge in ground fights, it's smart to mix it with other self-defense techniques. This way, you'll be ready for whatever comes your way in those unpredictable street fights. Karate, originating from Japan, is a martial art centered on striking techniques using hands, feet, knees, and elbows. It emphasizes precision and power in executing punches and kicks, whether for self-defense or scoring in competitions. Karate is an incredibly versatile martial art that packs a punch in more ways than one. It teaches you a wide range of self-defense techniques that can really help you out in a tight spot. Another big reason karate works well for self-defense is because it focuses on ongoing training and adapting to different situations. Karate folks are encouraged to spar regularly, which mimics real fights and lets them practice their moves against someone who's fighting back. This kind of training helps them get the timing, distance, and decision-making skills down pat, so they can react fast if they're attacked out of the blue. Also, lots of traditional karate styles include grappling moves like throws and joint locks, which are super effective in close-up fights. Learning these moves helps karate folks control their attackers' movements, stop them from being a threat, and get away safely. But not all karate styles are great for self-defense. Some focus more on sport sports and competitions, which means their techniques might not be as useful in real-life danger. And some training methods emphasize rehearsed forms or drills instead of live sparring, which can limit how well someone can adapt to a real fight. To make karate work best for self-defense, it's crucial to learn from experienced instructors who know how to teach practical self-defense skills. They should stress being aware of danger, avoiding it when possible, and calming things down if they escalate. Of course, they should also give solid training in physical moves and tactics that really work when things get hairy. In short, karate can definitely help save you on the streets, but having a broader set of skills makes you even more prepared. It's like having a versatile toolkit. Karate gives you the hammer and nails, but sometimes you also need a wrench or a screwdriver to handle whatever comes your way. Taekwondo, the famous Korean martial art, is known for its powerful kicking moves, which could be handy in a street fight. But whether it's really good for self-defense in real-life situations is a topic that gets debated a lot. It all depends on a few things: how someone trains, how skilled they are, and what the fight is like. One big plus of Taekwondo is its focus on fast, explosive kicks like roundhouse kicks and spinning hook kicks. These can help create space, hit sensitive spots, and overwhelm someone trying to attack you. Taekwondo also teaches quick footwork and how to move out of the way, which is great for dodging hits and keeping control of a fight. But Taekwondo isn't perfect for every street fight. It's really into flashy kicks that look cool in tournaments, but might not be the most practical into chaotic street brawl. Traditional Taekwondo focuses a lot on fancy kicks and less on basic punches and grappling up close. This can leave Taekwondo fighters vulnerable against someone who's good at getting close and stopping those big kicks. Also, because Taekwondo competitions have rules for safety, fighters might not be ready to use all their power in the real fight, where they need to stop an attacker fast. In the end, Taekwondo can be good for self-defense on the street, especially when fighters mix its powerful kicks with practical striking and grappling skills. But how effective it is in a real fight depends a lot on how well someone trains, their experience, and how well they can handle the unexpected in a violent situation. Adding other self-defense training and staying open to new tactics can really boost a Taekwondo fighter's ability to stay safe when things get rough. Judo started in Japan in the late 1800s, created by Jigoro Kano. Kano took techniques from traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and transformed them into a system focused on using an opponent's energy against them, making it more about technique than brute force. This philosophy is reflected in the name Judo, which means the gentle way. Judo can be very effective in a street fight. Here's why. Judo is all about using your opponent's strength against them, and its powerful throws and takedowns can quickly neutralize a threat. Being able to flip someone over with just a few movements and have them land hard on the ground, that's Judo's specialty. Getting an attacker off their feet can give you a huge advantage, especially in a chaotic street situation. Once the fight goes to the ground, Judo shines even brighter. It teaches you how to control and immobilize your opponent, using techniques that can keep them pinned or even choke them out. This is super useful if the fight turns into a grappling match, which is often the case in real-life altercations. One of the coolest things about Judo is that it's designed to let you overcome bigger and stronger opponents. So even if you're not the strongest person around, Judo gives you tools to defend yourself effectively. While Judo might not cover every scenario, especially against multiple attackers or weapons, its principles can be adapted to many situations. The techniques are practical and can be applied in various ways, making Judo a versatile tool for self-defense. So yes, Judo is quite effective on the streets. It provides you with the skills to throw, control, and subdue an attacker using their own energy. While no single martial art can prepare you for every possible situation, Judo gives you a solid foundation to defend yourself and stay safe in many real-world confrontations. MMA actually started back in the early 1990s, when fighters from different martial arts backgrounds, like karate, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and kickboxing, decided to throw down and see who was toughest. It was kind of like a no-holds-barred showdown with very few rules. As the sport grew in popularity, especially with events like the UFC, they had to start setting more rules to keep things safe and fair. MMA, or mixed martial arts, is incredibly effective in street fights because it combines the best techniques from various martial arts into one versatile and adaptive fighting system. MMA training covers both striking and grappling, making it a well-rounded approach to self-defense. Whether you're dealing with punches, kicks, or someone trying to take you to the ground, MMA has you covered. Your MMA training in boxing or Muay Thai can help you dodge and counter with powerful strikes. Your wrestling or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills come into play, helping you maintain control and possibly taking the fight to the ground on your terms. One of the biggest strengths of MMA is its focus on realistic fighting conditions. Sparring and live training sessions mimic the chaos of real fights. So you're not just learning techniques in theory, you're practicing them under pressure. For instance, in MMA training, you often spar with different partners, each bringing their own style and strategy, which prepares you for the unpredictability of a street fight. And last but not least, Muay Thai. I already made a dedicated video on Muay Thai. If you still haven't watched the video, make sure to check it out once this one is over. Let's get back to the topic. When it comes to choosing a martial art for self-defense, it really depends on what you're looking for and what suits your style. Kickboxing and Muay Thai. These are awesome for striking. Think powerful punches, kicks, and knee strikes. They teach you to generate a lot of force quickly, which can be crucial in a street fight, where you need to keep attackers at a distance. Taekwondo and Karate both emphasize disciplined techniques with strong kicks and precise strikes. They're great for quick, effective self-defense moves, focusing on both offense and defense. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, and Judo. If grappling and ground fighting appeal to you, these are top choices. BJJ is all about controlling your opponent on the ground and using submission holds, while Judo emphasizes throws and takedowns, perfect for defending against bigger attackers. Mixed martial arts, MMA. MMA combines elements of various martial arts, so you get a mix of striking, grappling, and ground fighting. It's practical and prepares you for a wide range of real-life situations. Ultimately, the best martial art for self-defense depends on your personal preferences, physical abilities, and what you're comfortable learning and practicing consistently. Each of these martial arts has something unique to offer, so exploring different styles and finding the right fit for you is key.